It spreads like a virus. The sound, the thing you can't unhear, that most wicked and horrible sound, the clicking, the non-stop clicking. I heard it 25 days ago, or maybe more accurately, I caught it 25 days ago. It spreads through thought, the power of suggestion. I caught it from my little brother Noah, who caught it from our mom, who caught it from our dad. They said, "Do you hear it? That sound, that distant sound. So faint it's barely audible. Shh, listen. There it is. Did you hear it? A soft click, gentle really, like ocean waves lapping endlessly on the shore. It's there, clicking. Whispers that become louder, clicking that becomes louder. Do you hear it?" The sound was hard to hear the first few days, a mosquito buzzing in my ear, but each day it got louder and louder. I think it has something to do with the new moon. It seems like whoever hears the sound has about a month until they lose all control, going mental and maiming and killing, then suicide, a big bang of violence and destruction before they exit, chewing the scenery and then exit stage left. The only thing my family's death seemed to have in common was that the sky was dark, no moon. It was the new moon when they died. I saw it first with my dad, then my mom, then my brother. He was the one who infected me, who told me about the sound. When they describe the sound to someone, it's pictured in their mind, and then it never leaves. It grows louder and louder, driving the infected to the brink of insanity, and then they flame out. I infected my girlfriend Melanie. She'll die a month after me. I hate myself for spreading the virus sound, but I couldn't help it. I was compelled to do it. Inside of me there was this urge. I couldn't control it. The need to spread the sound like I was preaching the word of God. That's how it replicates itself. That's how it kills. The infected must spread it. They have no choice. The sound wants to live. My dear Mel. Poor Mel. She was my sweetheart. I thought I'd be marrying her soon. I was gonna pop the question, but I kept putting it off. I'm not sure why, but the thought of asking for her hand in marriage made me nervous. Not that she would reject it. We had been together for 3 years now and things were great, but you never know. It's a lot of pressure to put on a man. I could only imagine how crushed I would have been if she would have said no. So instead, I didn't even ask. Yet, somehow, I was able to tell her about the sound. And now, we're not discussing our marriage, but rather our impending death. I think I got infected by Noah 25 days ago. The world's been a bit fuzzy since I saw him go crazy, but I'm pretty sure 25 days ago was when he told me about the sound. And if it is the new moon that triggers a violent end, then I have a mere 5 days left. Melanie can only watch as I slowly lose my mind. It's this clicking, this damn clicking. It won't stop. I can't sleep any longer. I can't think. There's not one quiet moment. It's the opposite of a sensory deprivation tank. Audio torture. Worse than anything the government came up with at Guantanamo. It drowns out everything as it gets louder. Your thoughts, they're interrupted. As the sky darkens, I can feel it too. My bones, they vibrate, getting ready for the madness of the new moon. A bull and a pen, ready to be released. Yankee Blue bringing out a rising cacophony of terror, depravity, and madness. When the sky becomes moonless, I know something terrible will possess me. I know my body will betray itself. My eyes will become the color of coal and my skin translucent. My veins, pulsing with black blood, will wiggle under my skin, worm-like. Then it's back to my maker. It's the release of the virus, that mass swelling of audio blackness that belches out from within, unleashing itself upon the world, making mankind destroy itself. I didn't see my mom or dad die, thank God, but I watched it all go down with my brother. I saw his eyes change, his veins pumping black blood. I saw him run into the street, tearing into flesh, ripping, stabbing. As his victims screamed, he was clicking. I locked myself in my room and watched the madness from my window. I was fearful he would attack me. I know when it's my time, I'll do the same as Noah did. I'll kill others and then kill myself. But I'm trying to stop it, trying to find a way to stop it. There's nothing online about this sort of thing happening. I saw information about tinnitus, but that's most certainly not it. This is viral. It spreads. It spreads through words and thought. There's nothing out there about that. The closest I could find was mass psychogenic illness. Mass hysteria. But this is real. People are really going nuts and really killing themselves. This noise spreads, person to person, by talking, by listening. Since I've been infected, I've been experimenting to try and stop. I'm pretty sure if you can stop the clicking, you can stop the madness. That's my theory anyways. So far, nothing's been successful. The noise keeps getting worse and worse, louder and louder with each day. It's impossible to stop a noise that's coming from inside your head. You can't put headphones on to stop it. There's no noise cancellation for your brain. I've tried. Mel suggested drugs, so now we're going through everything we can get our hands on. She figured if we can't stop the noise from coming in, maybe we can change our brain chemistry enough to stop from hearing it. So far, we've discovered that any sort of drug that increases your hyperness or heart rate, it makes things worse. There's also paranoia. The madness of the noise is bad enough, but when you add in paranoia, looking over your shoulder, worried that someone behind you is going to get you, worried the entire world is coming for you, well, the combination brought me to my knees. The sound plus the paranoia together was like putting my brain through a cheese grater. The moon's in waning crescent, a near sliver. I want to kill myself right here and now for spreading the sound to Mel. But if I did that, I couldn't save her. And she deserves to live, not die because of something I told her. It was after my brother went nuts that I spread it to her. I got infected a few days before, but I never said anything to her about it. The sounds weren't really loud enough when I first got infected, so I really wasn't sure I was actually hearing something. And the sound certainly didn't reach the level where I felt compelled to talk about it. And also, if I started talking about some sound my brother told me about, and how now I always hear it, well, my girlfriend would think I'm nuts. And there's no way she'd be marrying a crazy dude. Melanie didn't even believe me when I told her about what my brother did. The killing and the black blood in his veins and the suicide. That's when I first mentioned something to her about it. I didn't describe the sound to her, but I told her Noah went nuts. She thought I was joking. Now why would he go and do that? She said sarcastically, like I'm telling her something that's so far removed from reality she couldn't even comprehend it. It was right after that moment that I described the sound to her. That's when I infected her. I couldn't control the words that came out. They were like breath, and they came out effortlessly, without thought. I said, "Do you hear it? That sound, that distant sound. So faint it's barely audible. Shh. Listen. There it is. Did you hear it? A soft click, gentle really, like ocean waves lapping effortlessly on the shore. It's there, clicking. Whispers that become louder, clicking that becomes louder. Mel and I are trying downers next. I hope they're a better experience than the stimulants with their extreme paranoia side effects. I'm thinking if we can slow down our central nervous system, slow our brains, that the sound will slow too. Maybe we could even find the right combo that would stop the sound entirely, getting off this carousel of madness. I don't know where my family caught the viral sound from. It had to be from someone or somewhere. I remember my dad mentioning something to my mom about this noise in his head, this clicky noise. She said he needed to go to an ear doctor because it was quiet as a mouse in the house. There's no clicky noise, she said. And then, a few days later, she started complaining about the clicky noise too. I guess my dad infected her, told her about that sound just like I told Mel, described it until she visualized it and heard it. I went off to basketball camp, and when I came back, Noah said they were dead. He told me how terrible it was at the end. As I broke down hearing the news, he told me about the sound, attaching it to me, penetrating me with his description of it. The downers are really kicking in now. First up, codeine. We also have some Vicodin, Xanax, and for good measure, some red wine. Mel and I have turned this downer experiment into a dinner date, and why not? This might be the last quality moment I can have with her before my release, before the new moon. I'm not even sure how helpful I can be. I'm not sure I can hold a conversation right now with all the world. It seems sluggish, slow. No effect, Mel says. Not on the clicking anyways. I nod, lazily. Yes, no effect. Vicodin, Mel says, grabbing the bottle and popping a pill like Pez. She washes it down with a gulp of wine. Vicodin, I say, following her lead. The world becomes more manageable, relaxed, easy, life on a cloud. Things are slowing. My brain is slowing. Still there, but getting quieter, Mel slurs. Xanax! We have to keep going. I can't feel my legs, I confess. I'm in a stupor, the world a waterbed cradling me. Slow, my breath torpid. It's too dangerous, Mel. Damn it, David, we don't have time. Look at the moon. Mel points out to the window and my lethargic eyes follow. Outside, the sky is nearly black. The moon, a crescent, almost impossible to see. It's nearly not there anymore, Mel yells at me. You don't have time left. I don't want to watch you go on a rampage, kill people, see the blood in your veins go black. I don't want you to die. I don't want to die. We need to get this right. If it became quieter after the Vicodin, why can't we make it stop with more? We have to stop it. My central nervous system is stuck in neutral, as is my body. The vibrating in my bones is calm, though I'm glued to my seat. Mel grabs the Xanax and downs 2 bars, followed by a wine chaser. I can't hear it, Mel says, fighting to get out each syllable. She's leaning in her chair. Her eyes are glassy, her stare distant, her face turning a ghostly white. She's not looking good, but she's smiling. I love her face. It's round and cheerful, no matter the circumstances. Mel, always positive Mel. She's done so much for me, made me grow up and become a better person, made me serious. She wanted me to be more than the guy who lived in his parents' basement. Mel, her breath shallow, labored, wheezing. Mel dying in front of me, and I can't do a thing. My world's dizzy. Why couldn't I bring myself to propose to her? What was I so scared of? Mel's chest heaving. My head's in the clouds. Mel, I love you, I tell her. I'm sorry. I stumble out of my seat and onto one knee. I feel nauseous, lightheaded. Will you marry me? Outside the window, there's no longer any moon. The new moon, it's here. The vibrating in my bones has come back, but my body's so numb I can barely feel it. My skin turning clear. I can see my veins, the color inside changing, getting darker. Will you marry me, Melanie? You are my life. Melanie. Melanie stopped breathing now. Foam is coming out of her lips. My body jerks. I'm losing control. The virus, it's taking over. The orange bottle on the table. It's half full of Xanax. I feel restless. I can feel aggressiveness pushing through the mellow haze of depressants. With an uneasy hand, I spill the bottle into my mouth, chewing the rest of the bars like candy. Their chalky bitterness makes me gag. Without even a pause, I chugged the remaining wine. I noticed the bottle. It was the one I bought for a special occasion, like when I proposed to Melanie. The world slowly loses focus. Outside the window, in the moonless darkness, I hear screams. Screams of murder and suicide. The virus is spread. It is spreading. I take Melanie's dead hand in my vibrating one, and I sit against her slumped body, staring at her. She's blurry looking. I don't know if that's because of the drugs or if my eyes are changing, but it doesn't matter. She's always beautiful. My world goes as dark as the moon. No, it's quiet as the moon. It's quiet. There's no more clicking. Not in my head anyways. I'm weightless while the terror outside metastasizes. My heart beats sedate. I wonder who told who. Was it Melanie or was it my family? Maybe it was whoever told my dad about the sound. But I guess it didn't matter much now anyways. I love you, Melanie. I love you forever.